My name is Jeanine Cervoni. My husband and I, we've been married for 10 years now. We have two beautiful children. They're 6 and 7 years old. That's my family, the 4 of us and our dog. I've been with Caris 10 years now, and I've loved every minute. In 2020, I had felt I wouldn't even call it a lump, but I had felt something unusual in my breast. I went to my primary care doctor. She sent me to the imaging center, and nothing showed up on imaging. But long story short, after a year of monitoring, they did in fact find cancer. So I had had cancer all along, but it just wasn't detectable on imaging. When I received my diagnosis, my first reaction was fear. Was I going to live to see my boys grow up? I teach people about cancer every day, but I teach more about the treatment side of things and not so much about the patient journey and what the patient goes through. So there's a lot I didn't know about what I would be going through and what would come next. When I met with the surgeon to talk about the test results, I heard my surgeon refer to my subtype of breast cancer as being ductal. My oncologist had called it lobular. And so it was really important for me to know what my subtype was, because the next step of my journey was surgery. And my surgeon said to me, because there's 2 little spots, we could probably do a lumpectomy and get it all. But from the research I had done, I felt that if it was lobular, my personal preference was to do a mastectomy, which the surgeon also said was an option. And that was going to be my choice. My surgeon's words to me were, feel empowered to make the decision that you feel most comfortable with. And I really appreciated that, but for me, knowledge was power. I couldn't make that empowered decision without knowing more. So, I had to figure out what my subtype was. My oncologist sent my testing to Caris. So what Caris does is molecular profiling. And molecular profiling simply means looking at the biomarkers in a patient's tumor to determine what biomarkers are not as they should be. And based on that, what therapy or therapies may potentially benefit this patient, or what therapies may not benefit this patient, so that they're not exposed to therapies they don't need. And so after they did the mastectomy, there in fact was many more spots than we originally thought. So ultimately, the Caris information got me to where I am today. If I had made a different decision, it would have changed the trajectory of my journey.
Hello?
Hey!
Hi.
About 9 months ago was my final radiation treatment. And my doctors do continue to monitor me closely, just to monitor for any potential recurrence. And that's always going to be a worry in my mind. But at this point, I'm living a normal life again. I feel good, my energy's back, I can play with my kids without restrictions. And so it feels good to be back to normalcy. I decided I wanted to share my story because I want other women to be more aware of the fact that not all cancer feels the same, presents the same, shows up the same. So ask those questions, don't be shy, and don't feel like there's any wrong or dumb question to ask. You know your body best.